Oof, hair's looking rough, but what's going on, guys? It's your boy Bev bringing you guys another trade recap. We made $800 trading the eval today on our Lucid account. As you can see here, this is what the current calendar P&L is looking like. Tuesday when we took a trade, it was break even. Wednesday, we lost $300. Thursday, we made 950, and today we made 831 on the Lucid account. I haven't taken any trades on the Alpha account as of recent. Right now, I'm just kind of focusing on this Lucid account right here, but we're basically halfway through the Lucid Flex eval, so that's pretty much where we're at right now at the moment here, like the positions and shit like that. But I mean, we ended up catching this nice long. Let me see if I can go ahead and put executions on here on screen. Execution marks. Okay, let me try refreshing it maybe. Or I think it might not show because the session's over. Yeah, so I don't, wait, hold on. Wrong one. It's on NQ. Whoops. Yeah, so session's over, so I mean, unfortunately, it's not going to show the executions. But yeah, this is what I went ahead and took today to make $831 on the eval account. But I mean, without any further ado, let's go ahead and just hop straight into the trade recap. So pretty much coming into the morning, I'm just gonna go ahead and clear up the chart here. What the fuck? All right, my bad. All right, so coming into the morning, what I had seen was we were inside of this weekly gap here. I'm just gonna go ahead and just delete all the annotations. So we were inside this weekly gap here on the weekly chart, and on top. Okay, if I could just drag it out, that'd be nice. All right, so we're inside this weekly gap here on the weekly chart, right? And what do? We swept out these previous week's lows. So we swept out several previous week lows inside of this weekly gap, and we had a huge wick, and we pretty much just began to start running back to the upside. So from there, scale down onto the daily. Give me 1 second here. Actually, I forgot. Did we have any higher time from SMT? Yes, we also had a higher time from SMT right here as well, with this low as ES never came and took that out. So we had an SMT right here. Go ahead and just mark that up. So we had an SMT, weekly gap tapped, previous week's low all swept, and from there went on to the daily. And we had the same thing on the daily, huge wick, and we began pretty much expanding to the upside. So, it looked like the day was going to be bullish. And another reason I was heavily bullish was for the simple fact that on Sunday, we left this huge, I just put on the indicator actually, we left this huge new week opening gap. So we had this huge N-Wog right here that at the moment we were pretty much, what time was it? Around like 6. We were below it. So yeah, we had like rejected into it. I mean, we had tapped into it, but for the most part, we still had most of the N-Wog that we needed to fill in. So for my bias coming into the day, it was bullish just for the simple fact that we did have a huge N-Wog above us that I wanted to see get filled. So I'm going to go ahead and replay this back to there. So yeah, this is what the chart looked like coming into the morning here. This was basically what I was looking for. It was pretty much just to fill in this gap here. We'll do an ES2. So that's what I was looking for coming into the morning. So we had that SMT. I believe we also had another SMT. No, we didn't have an SMT. So we just had an SMT here with the weekly level. Went on to the 1 hour. And on the 1 hour, this is what I saw. So I saw Asia opened. Where did my fucking, what? Where did my levels just go? Okay, I guess my levels are just gonna disappear, I guess. But okay, let me go ahead and just put them back on. So we had the new week opening gap. We had Asia. It opened lower, and then from there, we started expanding back up to the upside. And what were we doing? We were respecting bullish, disrespecting bearish, and right here we also had another gap that I believe we were respecting. Yeah, we had like this little small hourly here, but it's still a gap nonetheless. So we were disrespecting bearish, respecting bullish. London ended up making that low inside of this 1 hour gap on both of the assets. So you can see right here, London lows on both. Go and just mark that up here, London low. And from here, scaled on to the 15-minute. And I know a lot of people were trying to take shorts today. I know some people caught, a small short into this, the low right here, pretty much what people did. What people saw was they saw 930 open, sweeping the high into the new week opening gap. And from there, they ended up taking some setups to the downside, trying to target out this London low. But me personally, I was bullish. I just wanted to see the gap get filled in. And so coming into this time, we see, you know, pretty much an accumulation. We ended up coming down, sweeping out this sell side here into the hourly and a 15-minute gap. So let me go ahead and just mark out the 15-minute gap so it's more clear, so we don't have that tiny of an FPG. So we swept sell side into an hourly and a 15-minute bullish gap, and this 15-minute gap is important because it broke structure to the upside. So I want to see the bullish momentum just continue higher and higher. So right here, let me go ahead and just get into my entry. So what the fuck is this? Wait, why is that there? Is that the weekly? Okay, yeah, it's the weekly. Okay, I'll go ahead and just delete that so the chart gets cleaned up. So right here, where's 930? So 930, it opens, comes up higher. We, you know, come down, we display it's changing the state of delivery. And from there, we end up coming down to the sell side level. We sweep that, close back into the range, and we have this 5-minute first presented fair value gap. Give me, go ahead and just do that. So this first presented 5-minute gap here, and if, you know, price really did want to go lower, it should have definitely tapped this and then, you know, continue to displace price down to the downside, but it did not. Then we did have this SMT above us as well with the London high, but again, you know, I wanted to go ahead and see higher prices, so I wasn't really too concerned about the SMT. So right here, this was basically my entry. So since this was a 5-minute gap that opened up, it was also the highest time frame inversion, and it was also the first presented fair value gap. So, you know, if we're bearish, this should definitely hold and continue to send price lower. So right here is when we ended up getting the inversion. However, I did not enter at market because, as you can see here, it's 423 and 468. That is a 40 tick difference in an entry. So, you know, rather than executing at market, I basically just set a limit there. And I was going to go for a 2-to-1. I was going to go for the 2-to-1, but you'll see why I ended up closing where I ended up closing. So this was the entry. So right there we got inverted. I'm gonna go ahead and just scale down to the 1 minute so you guys can see like the entire market structure and shit. So let's see. Okay, so sweep of liquidity, we pretty much have the same thing present itself on the 1 minute, you know, small little accumulation, manipulation, and we start, you know, distributing to the upside. Right there, we inverted this gap as well, which is the first presented 1 minute gap as well, coming to market open. So let me go ahead and just make this. Okay. Whoops. Make this bigger. Okay, there you go. That was the original. I don't know why everything just moved right now. I don't know why everything just moved right now. It's so weird. But yeah, let me go ahead and fix it. So this would have been the trade. 2-2-1. So that would have been the original trade right there. So let me go ahead and just play everything forward for you guys. So boom, we got entered in. And immediately you could see we had this fat Drake candle coming down. And I'm not going to lie, I was kind of like, oh shit, you know, like that's not really good. I was considering just, you know, closing my trade prematurely, but 9 out of 10 times when I do that, the trade just ends up running in my direction, and you'll see why I'm so happy I didn't do that. So right here, you see ES sweeps out this low, right? ES sweeps out this low, but nasdaq doesn't. So this SMT right here actually ended up saving us. So we come back into the hourly and the 15-minute gap, and that SMT holds and saves us, and we hold through so much drawdown. And I was streaming this live, by the way. I was streaming this live on TikTok, and so many people, oh my god, why would you long that? Why would you not look for shorts? Why are you taking that long? Basically just talking shit about my trade or whatever. And as you can see, we're back in profits now. We're back in, you know, the trade ended up running in our direction. The SMT saved us, and we're back in profits. So right here, we go back into drawdown again, and boom, we finally break this intermediate term high. So right here, I ended up going break even. So right there was my break even spot. So I'll go ahead and just mark that out for y'all. So right there was my break even spot. And, you know, I pretty much just keep letting this run. And I believe this was where I took like profits. Yeah, so right here, I pretty much just keep letting this run. We end up taking out the same high on both of the assets, but if we go ahead and look a little bit closer to our, look a little bit more to our left, you can see, where is it at? Where is it at? Right here. We end up putting an SMT with this, so you'll go ahead and see that right now. So let me go ahead and just mark that up. We really don't need the gap anymore. We're just serving as a drawn liquidity. Oh fuck, my fucking arm is itchy. We'll put that there. Same thing with this. We don't really need this here anymore. So I'm going to just do this real quick. with that? Because I know we did have an SMT somewhere, unless I was tripping. Okay, now I'm just realizing I kind of I may or may not have closed that a bit prematurely, but it's okay. Regardless, either way, we ended up making money on the market here. So pretty much around this time, or was it 1.5? Yeah, so pretty much around 11 right there. I ended up just closing the trade a little bit early because I don't know why. I thought we had an SMT, but we didn't. But I mean, either way, as you can see, our full 2-to-1 would have been met. And regardless, I did risk a little bit more on this trade. So I was trying to risk around 500 or so dollars, but when I entered, I didn't really get time to really adjust my entry. So I actually ended up entering the trade with about like, I'd say like $600. So I mean, either way, we made like damn near close like a band. But yeah, I'm now just realizing I accidentally closed that prematurely because I thought we had an SMT. I remember seeing an SMT while we were, in the market live. But I guess we never had one. So, I mean, it is what it is. Doesn't really matter. I still made money, so I'm not really too upset about it. And regardless, price still went to my ultimate target. And as you can see here, we end up eventually taking out that drawn liquidity as well. So let me go ahead and just play that forward. Oh. Yeah, so right there we end up just smashing through our drawn liquidity here. That was to the left side, which was, the entire gap. I want to see the whole gap get filled, and then also we took out that high. So yeah, that's pretty much the trade that I took today. So just like another brief rundown. Accumulation, we ended up manipulating lower into that 15-minute hourly gap. We swept out the sell side, closing back into the range. We inverted the first presented 5-minute gap, entered on a limit at the 5-minute gap. Then, pretty much price just displaced up, and then, I ended up trailing my stop, and then ended up getting stopped out for 1.5 RR. So that's pretty much how I made $800 today trading my eval. So if you guys went ahead and enjoyed that video, so you guys, enjoyed my video, you learned something from it, make sure you, leave a like, comment, most importantly, go ahead and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. And if you want to watch my journey, live trading in the markets every single day, working to becoming a full-time profitable day trader, make sure you follow me on TikTok. My @ is @Befcito. I'll go ahead and leave it in the description as well for those of you that are interested. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the recap here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have, a blessed, wonderful day.